What's up, sports bettors? So I gave out this play earlier, 3 picks to turn 250 bucks into 1500, but I have 3 more NBA player props for you on Underdog Fantasy, and they're all sharp, they're all profitable. So again, if you're new to the Odds Jam YouTube, we really try to do a good job explaining to you not only, of course, trying to give you picks that make you money in the long run, but we also try to explain to you the strategies that the pro bettors use, the sharp bettors use to make money consistently. So what we're going to be going through is how to find sharp bets on Underdog Fantasy. So before we get into that, you have to know how this platform works. So the way this platform works is any 3-leg parlay, any 3 picks you select, you're going to see that you're betting 1 to win 6. Doesn't matter if we change this to an under, doesn't matter if we switch picks, $1 to win 6. So any 3 picks, you're basically getting $1 to win 6, which means your implied odds is minus 122. So we've gone through the math before, but it's really advantageous on Underdog Fantasy to be playing 3-pick and 5-pick entries. So you'll notice we're always playing 3-pick or 5-pick entries for the most part on Underdog Fantasy. Cut out there for a second, but basically in any 3-pick or 5-pick entry on Underdog Fantasy based on the way their payouts work, so again, just looking at a parlay calculator, the fact that Underdog Fantasy gives you any 3-pick entry, any 3-leg parlay, $1 to win 6, means that their implied juice is minus 122 for a 3-pick entry, right? Just plus 500 odds. Any 3-leg parlay is plus 500 odds, which means each leg has the implied juice of minus 122. So what you're going to notice is when you're looking for value on Underdog Fantasy, you're going to see them listed on OddsJam where it's free to browse odds. You get millions of odds updating in real time on OddsJam. You're going to see Underdog Fantasy at minus 137, which is the implied juice in a 2-pick entry, as well as you're going to see them at minus 122, which is a 3-pick or 5-pick entry, which you obviously prefer, right? You definitely want to be playing 3-pick and 5-pick entries for the most part on Underdog Fantasy, unless you just find 2 incredible bets that are great at minus 137 and you can't find anything to pair it with. But that's pretty unlikely. So when we're playing on Underdog, we of course want to look for value, right? Why on earth would we ever want to take Jaylen Brown under 23.5 points in our Underdog Fantasy entry? It wouldn't make any sense. The implied juice is minus 122 for a 3-pick or a 5-pick entry, or even worse, minus 137 for a 2-pick entry, and you can get this on DraftKings at plus 110. That's called getting ripped off, right? This is 47 cents worse. So that's a surefire way to lose money playing on Underdog Fantasy. When you're betting on sports, you're like an investor. You're looking for value. You're looking for edges. You're constantly looking to beat the market. And if you're placing bets at minus 137, when there's a bunch of sports books offering plus money, especially here we have Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker, giving this at plus 107, you definitely don't want to be playing Jaylen Brown under 23.5 points. Even if the bet wins, it's a terrible bet, right? Because you got a horrible price. You got a horrible payout. So the first play I ended up going with is right here, Bradley Beal under 23.5 points. So we got this at minus 122. You can also get it on Prize Picks and a 5-pick flex at minus 119. And I played this in my 3-pick entry. And what you'll notice is we're going to treat every bookmaker as an independent data point of where the odds should be set. And you can see there's just incredible value at minus 122, which is why this bet shows up on the EV page with a profit margin of 2.38%. So the way that OddsJam works is pretty simple, right? It's free odds comparison, any market you want to bet on, all these player props, all the random crap you can bet on sportsbooks, player props, game props, for every game as well as every major league. It's free to browse odds. OddsJam has millions of odds updating in real time, so you can always find value, right? If you want to play Morris over 10.5 points, you have to know where can I get the best line in my state, which you'll notice is plus 100 on FanDuel or DraftKings. That's like sports betting 101, line shopping, looking for value. If you're placing bets at, minus 128 when you can get it minus 119, you're screwed. You should never bet on sports. So what this EV page does is all it does is take all the data and show you the highest profit margin bets mathematically, the biggest line discrepancies, right? There's no BS about Bradley Beal looked weak getting off the bus. There's no BS. All this tool shows you is, hey, on Underdog, in a 3-pick or a 5-pick entry, you can get Bradley Beal under 23.5 points tonight, and the profit margin is 2.38%. So typically I just sort odds jam by the highest profit margin bets, and then I just have filtered on the main sports books I use: Prize Picks, FanDuel, Betway, Caesars, the main sports books that I'm using. So what you're going to notice is Bradley Beal under 23.5 points. All the sports books are pricing that minus 143 to minus 166, right? So there's, of course, some differences between sports books, but regardless, it's very clear there's a lot of value in playing this in a 5-pick flex or, a 3-pick or 5-pick entry on Underdog. So a ton of value in this play at minus 122. Pinnacle, the sharpest bookmaker in the world, the most efficient betting market. So their odds are the most accurate because they take the highest volume of bets. They're pricing this at minus 143, FanDuel minus 166. So this is just value-driven sports betting. In the same way an investor is looking for mispriced stocks that are too cheap, we're finding bets by looking at all the data in the market that are mispriced, and we're getting a ton of value, enough to beat the vig, beat the juice, and make money long term. Is this bet guaranteed to win? No, but does this bet have an edge? Yes. And is there a ton of value at minus 122? Yes. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have all these data points, all these bookmakers who have models, and they're taking a higher volume of bets, right? There's millions of dollars bet on NBA player props every day. So they're, seeing all this action in the market, adjusting their odds to reflect the supply and demand coming in on the over and the under, right? And there's very clearly a lot of value at minus 122. So we want to be on that play. Next, I'm on Curry under 6.5 assists. Once again, value-oriented sports betting. Pinnacle and Bet Online, two of the sharpest sports books out there, are pricing this at minus 143 and minus 147. We're getting it minus 122. Sign me up, right? Definitely a play we want to be on. Don't overcomplicate sports betting, right? Find value enough to beat the vig, beat the juice, and hammer those bets. And for Underdog, you need 3 of them, because we don't want to play 2-pick entries at minus 137. We'd much rather, get this in a 3-pick entry. So once again, a ton of value. You have all these data points telling you where the line should be set at. So all you want to do is kind of take the consensus of the market and be like, okay, minus 128 is the true price. With no vig, if you remove the vig, the true odds are minus 128. We're getting this minus 122, right? So it's kind of like if there were a bunch of stock exchanges and they're all telling you, hey, this stock is worth $50, $55, $53, $52, $51, and then you can go buy it for $40 on Underdog Fantasy. It's like, well, it's a no-brainer because all these other stock exchanges are telling me this thing should be worth like 50 to 55. It's no different here, right? It's no different in sports betting. You have all these sharper, bigger, betting markets, sports books, all telling you, hey, this line should be set from like minus 135 to minus 160-ish, minus 155-ish. You're getting it minus 122. Seems pretty good. You don't have to know anything about basketball, anything about sports betting to know that you're picking up some value on Curry. Finally, I have Jokic to make a 3. 3 picks. Again, the profit margins go down a bit, but once again, ridiculous value. This parlay on DraftKings, if you were to create it, you'd be betting 500 to win 2.2K, 2.25K, right? So we have Curry under 6.5 assists, Jokic to record at least 1-3, and Bradley Beal under 23.5 points. Now this is what's crazy. We're betting 3 picks, 500 to win $3,000. So our payout's over, like $750 higher than DraftKings, right? So we're getting like 33% better odds by just line shopping and looking for value. That's how you beat the vig. That's how you beat the market. That's how you make money sports betting. So again, Another play you definitely want to be on if you're not already is Josh Allen under 2.5 passing TDs. Obviously not a basketball play, but that seems pretty great if you're able to get it down. And then you can also see this Beal play. So maybe we can try to create one last one. See if they take it. So we have Allen, Beal, under, and is there any other plays we want to be on? You know, what I like to do is just refresh the EV page. So all that does is after hitting the refresh button, it just like pulls the entire market and shows you, hey, here are the bets that are still available. So Jokic under, well, Jokic over half of a made three we can still get. So maybe we take that, right? So 1, 2, 3, and we can bet this, you know, as well. Unless I hit the cap on, so I've already hit the cap on them. Okay, so I can't rebet it. But anyways, you know, looking for value, constantly scanning the markets, looking for edges, long-term value-driven sports betting, let's make money.